Hi, it's Alina here with XM8 Mastery, and today we're going to talk about coverage types. So I'm not sure if you've ever seen on a report where you have code upgrade separated out as a different summary, or another one is PWI or paid when incurred. And sometimes the adjuster will ask you to put those line items that on your estimate into a different coverage type in order for them to accept your estimate. So today we're going to show you about different coverage types and how to set those up, especially if you don't have code upgrade or PWI added already in Xactimate. So let's go take a look. Today we are going to talk coverage types, and coverage types are something that adjusters have to use. Contractors don't usually have to think about these sort of things, but when you get an adjuster that says, hey, if you'll add that line item PWI, I can accept your estimate and get going, that absolutely is something that we want to know and want to learn about. So coverage types are pretty simple and easy to understand, and you'll see the coverage types reflected here at the end of an estimate. So I've got an estimate up here. You'll see summary for dwelling. This is the dwelling part of the policy, the dwelling coverage that we're seeing here. And the dwelling is usually defined as the structure itself, the home. When you get to other coverage types like other structures, that is defined in the insurance industry as anything that can be separated from the dwelling by a credit card width or more. That's literally how they define it. So your fences, your pool houses, your separated garages, all of those are other structures because they're separated from that dwelling by that space, that credit card width or more. Then you've got your contents line items. If you took a house, turned it upside down and shook it, everything that falls out of that is going to be considered a contents item. Your grills, your patio furniture, couch, those types of things are considered contents. Most contractors don't deal in contents, but I do understand if you're trying to get like a hot tub cover paid for, or maybe an awning, like one of those retractable awnings that could be considered a contents item. Those types of things you might want to get paid for the homeowner. You might use a contents type of coverage. The other ones that are very important are paid when incurred or PWI. If ice and water shield doesn't exist on a home and you're going back with the ice and water shield for code compliance, then you're going to add it as PWI or paid when incurred, and you're going to show the adjuster that yes, we did in fact install that ice and water shield upon replacement of the roof. You also have code upgrade, different kind of coverage, which again, that ice and water shield is a great example. It is something that was not existing on the home and must be upgraded due to code compliance, or else that home or that roof will not pass inspection. So currently in Xactimate, let me show you what's existing. So I'm here in the Estimate Items tab. I'm going to scoot on over to the Claim Info main tab. We're going to go to the Coverage Loss sub-tab, and here are where your coverages reside. If you're missing your coverages or do not see coverage loss as a sub-tab, that means that your estimate is open in what's called the contractor profile, and you need to start it in the carrier profile. So I made a whole video on the different types of profiles and what's included, what's not, but just to give you a hint, when you're setting up your estimate, you do have an option for carrier or contractor. So go look up that video on the YouTube channel, and you can learn something from that if you're not aware about the different profile types. So if you do not see coverage loss or coverages here, that is because you're in the wrong profile. You'll need to go and roll over and start in the carrier profile. All right, now that you can see the different coverages here, I didn't go over loss of use. That's something like if a kitchen had a fire and they couldn't use their kitchen, they'd have to go out to eat. That's what loss of use is. Most contractors don't deal with that. In fact, the payments usually come from somewhere else other than the adjuster that's assigned to the structural loss itself. So loss of use is kind of off the table. We don't usually deal with that. These other ones, however, let's go over to Estimate Items, and if I click on a line item that I have added here, let's take Ice and Water Shield. For example, we've got Ice and Water Shield here on our list. Just add some square footage there, and you'll see when you click on a line item, you'll have a coverage type available to you. It's in the quick entry screen. It's a drop-down box. I could make this Ice and Water Shield other structure if I wanted to, or whatever I needed. Notice, however, I do not have code upgrade, and I need that for this ice and water shield because the adjuster isn't including it in the dwelling. They need it on a separated designated code upgrade summary page. So let's go back over to claim info. Under coverages, you'll see that I do not have code upgrade available here. Not a problem. We will have to hand enter that. In order to hand enter a new coverage, we need to go to add coverage first. Just trust me, it's a lot easier this way. Just create a blank line here. Okay, so when I clicked add coverage, it created this blank line. Drop down the list, and since I don't have any other coverages available, I will click on Smart List to create a new one. So click on Smart List, brings up my list of current coverages. I will move on over to add, and we want code upgrade to be the new coverage type, and the type is going to be structural. Generally, code upgrade or code compliance is centered around the main dwelling part of the home, so structural is where we need to be. And do not click this box, save to estimate only, leave that blank. Left click OK, and that adds it to our coverage list. I like to add one more. I'm going to call it PWI, or paid when incurred. It's going to be structural as well. I'm going to left click OK there to add that to my list. So I'm going to select code upgrade now that I've created it. That's going to be added to my coverage list. Maybe I would like PWI instead. I could then drop down the list and you'll see that new code coverage that we created here. Or I could add PWI in addition to. So I could add another coverage type, drop down the list, and choose PWI. So there's all your options for coverages and how to add new ones when needed. Now let's go ahead and add that ice and water shield as code upgrade. I'm going to go back over to estimate items here. Scoot on down to that roof 2. Find that ice and water shield here on my list. And we're going to select that line item. Notice that I do not have any line items selected right now. My coverage type is not available. I must select at least one line item here in order to affect the coverage type. So now that I have the line item selected for ice and water shield, drop that down. We're going to call that code upgrade. Left click OK to accept that code coverage. And let's go take a look at how that's going to affect our estimate. Just do a quick print preview here to take a look. And we're going to scroll down to our summary pages. Now we've got a summary for dwelling and a summary for code upgrade. And this amount here, $965.78, should be the same amount as our ice and water shields. Let's go over there and take a look at that ice and water shield line item and see if it matches in amounts. There we are, $965.79. So that looks really great. We've got our code upgrade line item showing up as a different page on our summary, a different code coverage. Now, let's say that you had an other structures folder here, and the adjuster asked you to mark that designated other structures in Xactimate in order to get another separate summary page. All you would need to do is highlight the folder on the grouping tree, right-click, go to Global Changes. When Global Changes opens up, you can see the different coverage types here, and I could change this to other structures. Left-click OK, and that will change all the line items in this folder to other structures. Rather than me having to click in and out of each of these line items, changing the coverage by hand, I can again choose the whole folder over there on that grouping tree and go to the Global Changes wizard and do that there. So that should be a time saver in case you have many line items that you need to change the coverage type for. Hopefully that's really useful information for you guys for the next time an adjuster asks you to make an edit to your coverage type and create that separate summary page. My name is Alina Wilson with Xamate Mastery. If you like this topic for today's video, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you'd like more information on Xamate Mastery and what we do, please visit www.xamatemastery.com. Hope you guys have a great week in your business, and we'll see you next week.